Hey everybody, it's spring, and for me that means it's metal detecting season. It's getting warmer outside, the ground is nice and soft from all the spring rains, and it's just a great time to go detecting. And one of my favorite things to find is coins. And a big part of the fun of finding coins is sorting them out afterwards and figuring out what you've found. Now, here in the US, one headache that can come up is with pennies, and that is because in 1982, the US Mint switched between making pennies out of almost entirely pure copper to making them out of zinc with just a thin copper coating. And I would just as soon keep the copper pennies. I think those are really neat. And for the zinc ones, I'd just as soon cash them in, or if they're in really rough shape, just pitch them. So how do you tell them apart? Well, obviously if they're made before 1982 and you can see the date, that's really easy. They're copper. And if they're made after 1982, they're zinc. But what if they're made during 1982? Well, that's going to be a problem because they switched during the year. The other thing is, especially when you're metal detecting, you get a lot of coins like this one here. It's definitely a penny. I can see the Lincoln Memorial on there, but I really can't read the date. It's probably hard to see through the camera, but even if you could see it in real life, I assure you, I can't see the date on that thing. So how can we tell? Well, the easiest way to do this is by mass. It turns out the copper pennies are significantly heavier than the zinc pennies. So let me get this cleaned up and I'll show you my solution for doing that. And I think it was a pretty cool solution, so I'm excited to show you. All right, so yes, your metal detector can actually differentiate pretty well between copper and zinc pennies typically, but it's really a hassle to try to use that when you get back home. So like I said, mass is really the best way to do it. And my first inclination was to pull out my little kitchen scale here. And I grabbed a couple of pennies I found. Here's one from 1983, so that we know for sure is zinc. And that comes up as 3 grams. Okay, fine. Here is a penny from 1971, so that's certainly copper. Also 3 grams. So there's nothing really wrong with this little scale. It's just that it's not accurate enough at these tiny masses to differentiate. One solution, of course, is just to buy a more accurate scale, but I didn't really want to do that. I came up with a solution I think is much more elegant and much cheaper, and I can show you that right now. All right, so here it is. This is my little homemade balance. I just took a penny, glued it to the end of a popsicle stick right there, glued another little piece of wood. I know this looks like some sort of art project one of my kids would bring home, but it actually works pretty well. And so let's try it out. I managed to set it up so that that balance is just right. So if I have a copper penny, like let's take that 1971 one, here it is. If I put it on the edge, it's enough to tip the scale. If I have my one from 1983, nothing happens, right? Make sure it's all the way in the end just to convince you it works. Yep, nothing. And so here's a couple of pennies that this is kind of interesting. Both are stamped 1982. I don't know if you can see that very well. That one's obviously a zinc. That one's definitely copper. And you even get some like this where you just can't read the date. It's been in the ground, been kind of had a hard life. Oh, that's copper. So again, for about 2 cents, and you can even recoup this 1 cent when you're done. So a net cost of about 1 cent, you can make your own little balance. It's a quick and easy way to tell the difference between copper and zinc coins. I thought this was really fun, and you could use it even if you're not into metal detecting. Sometimes I just go and buy like a few bucks worth of penny rolls at the bank for my kids, sit there and sort out, and I can be entertaining and cheap entertainment at that. Anyway, hope you found this interesting. Take care. I'll see you in the next video.